Hello everybody and welcome back to The Martian Part 5, where we begin with some routine science experiments. Yes, it's a beautiful day on Duna and the crew of the Ares 3 mission is just performing their daily tasks, checking the experiments, taking in the view, doing some science here and some science there. Just some regular space mission stuff, nothing out of the ordinary. Everything is working fine and the mission is going according to plan. And here we see Bill taking out the rover to get to a site a little farther off to the east. But then a storm is coming. And with it the evacuation order, because the ascent vehicle is about to tip over due to the high winds that threaten to destroy everything in their path. Okay, the crew is assembling and they will take the rover to the ascent vehicle that you have already seen in the back. Oh well, those jetpacks are really fun. Okay, now the final crew member has left the habitat. Valentina, Jebediah, Bill, Bob, Azina, and here we have Bark Kerman. Yeah, Bark just planting a small flag to commemorate that they have been, in fact, on Duna. Okay, now time to head back to... Oh my! What happened? We have lost the antenna. Bark! Oh no! He has been hit! All hope is lost for him. We have to abort. We have to go back to the ascent vehicle. Okay, now hop on board. Azina, get in there. Okay. Apparently you're pretty shaken up about the loss of Bark Kerman, but please don't be. Just get on board and get off this rock so at least you can survive. Okay. The next crew members are taking the emergency hatch on the top of the rover. Well, there is an exit in the back, but that would take too long. Time is of the essence. The ascent vehicle is about to tip over due to the winds and we have to get there really quickly. Okay, now, careful Bill, do not roll the rover. Not yet. Okay, now heading to the ascent vehicle in the background. Leaving everything behind, all the science experiments, all the equipment. This mission is already a disaster. We have lost a crew member, we have lost Bark Kerman. And yeah, here it is, the ascent vehicle. Bill hits the brakes, hit the brakes, come on, okay. Now reverse. Well, you never should let Bill drive. Okay, now let's get out of there and onto that ascent vehicle so we can get back up to the Hermes and head back home. The mission is aborted and we're heading to the command section. There we go. 6 seats, only 5 will be taken. And every crew member is exiting the rover and now heading towards that ascent vehicle. Okay. 2 on board, 3 to go. Now the third one. Oh, come on. Don't mess around, we're on a tight schedule here. I said don't mess around. Okay, there we go. Now 2 more. Get over there. Hurry up! Okay, there we go. And the final crew member. Let's get Bill onto the ascent vehicle. You may wonder why those boosters on the side are floating in the air. Well, that happens when you build something in Kerbal Space Program 1.04 And then 1.05 changes some parts, and then they look completely different and behave a little bit differently. Okay, now we have to get this thing stable, so we have a nice good ascent using the suspension and the OMS system, and yes, we are now ascending away from the surface of Duna. The ascent vehicle is performing to specification, and it has created its fuel from the soils of Duna, now heading through the thick layers of clouds through the dust storm that has ravaged the habitat. Okay, we're now through the clouds. Thanks to the thinness of Duna's atmosphere, it's a lot easier to get above those dangerous levels. Okay, first stage ditched, second stage is active. And inside, the loss of bark is extremely felt by the crew. Don't be deceived by their smiles. Those are smiles of desperation. Okay, now the usual spacefaring stuff, some maneuver noting, and then some circularizing. There we go, second stage firing perfectly. And then of course we have to forget a rendezvous with the Hermes, which we did. Okay, I thought about docking this thing to the Hermes, but then I thought, don't bother, because I have to transfer the Kerbals to the vehicle manually anyways, so there is no point and click transfer. So yeah, I just let this thing float beside the Hermes and transfer the Kerbals via their EVA packs. Okay, just don't hit this antenna. It's enough that we already lost the ground antenna. I don't want to lose this antenna as well. Okay, let's get out of there. Valentina? You don't have to do the same thing your colleague Jebediah did on the surface, if you remember. Just be quick about getting on board. We're on a schedule here. Okay. Crew departing from the ascent vehicle of course. And then getting on board of the Hermes. There we go, the second pilot, Jebediah, also on board. And now, yes, the ascent vehicle is empty, so time to get this thing out of orbit so it doesn't clutter up the orbit around Duna. So let's get this thing out of the way of the Hermes. We don't want to crash those things into each other. And yeah, you're now debris. Okay, time to head home, back to Kerbal. Let's plot a course. There we go, we're going to get an encounter there, and I've already skipped ahead to the part where the engines burn. So, 5 of 6 Kerbonauts return home. A black day for Kerbal kind, even though most of the crew will survive. But back on the surface, there is movement. Yes, Bark Kerman has survived. Though he may appear to be smiling, he has to think, well, I'm really now in a big pile of excrement. Because what am I going to do now? Well, we're going to find out in the next episode. Thanks for watching. Goodbye.